that this Mercedes has been stolen.
What's
And
going
you can see there
on,
this pursuit
everybody?
coming, slowing down a little bit
Live
behind a
police
white
chase
van. The
here.
LAPD vehicle right behind him
I'm
opens the
enjoying
door
the
a little bit,
fun.
hopefully hoping for an end to this
We'll
pursuit.
give,
But this driver gets a little scared there and scurries around
give
to the right
Tsunami
side using the
a
right
heads
shoulder
up
there.
for giving me
And
the heads up on this. I want
there's
to
a
come in
lot of
live,
traffic to be seen here
see what
on the
goes on
eastbound 10.
here.
Really, the only option for this driver to continue on is to use the shoulder, and we definitely see this driver doing that.
I'm going to try to get
You
to
never know
a
if someone's going to
regularly
be pulled over
scheduled
on the shoulder.
program
That
after
could be
this.
an interesting development as we continue in the eastbound lanes
We
here.
are
And you
live.
can see there LAPD staying
We
very
are
close behind the vehicle.
live.
I'm going to take a quick pause here.
We
We're
are live.
getting things ready
Live
on the
police
studio
chase,
side for
everybody. I'm
Eyewitness
going to
News
thank
at 4
Tsunami
p.m.
for giving me the tip.
We'll be
We'll
going to
follow
that
this.
coverage very shortly here. I'll be joining you all for that. Just going to take one second.
A little
here.
Grand Theft Auto action going on out in Los Angeles, California. Armed robbery suspect. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. Little quick stream. We
All
have
right, we're 30 seconds away from Eyewitness News at 4 p.m. I'll be joined by the anchors of that show. I believe it's going to be Ellen Leva and David Ono.
My state of my watch collection is terrible.
As we continue our coverage.
Awful. I've pretty much given up on Rolex.
Of a robbery suspect, possibly armed in a stolen
the
Mercedes.
AD is the Dix.
On the 10.
So I'm not going to deal with that
We're
AD
go
anymore.
On TV here momentarily. Stand by with us.
But let's watch this live, baby, live. And then when this ends, I plan on going to my regular show. I was going to do a members only chat tonight, but I'm going to skip that because I'm going to do the regular show. So for everybody that's here, we're going to watch this live police chase and see what happens. And then we'll go to the regular show. I promise I'll start that whenever this ends. But we're watching Los Angeles, California live on the 405. Armed robbery suspect. Looks like it's coming to...
yeah, Giovanna, this pursuit is definitely coming to an interesting point right here as we see the driver coming to a complete stop in the middle of lanes on the 10 freeway. We're in the eastbound lanes
kind of flag.
In the Culver City area, just passing Robertson Boulevard, Palms. You can see their LAPD staying very close behind this suspect. As you said, this is a robbery suspect wanted for a possible Grand Theft Auto, possibly involving this vehicle, this black Mercedes. We've been over this pursuit for the better part of an hour now. This pursuit started in and around the South LA area. It was going up and down the 110, up and down Flower, and then this pursuit was able to continue southbound on the 110, westbound on the 105, southbound on the 405, and then back northbound on the 110. We took the 10
one of my
all the way
moderators
west,
tipped me off on
Santa
this.
Monica. The driver got off on
said,
the
"Hey, you should jump on and cover this."
Bundy,
so
and then
spontaneous stream. We're going to jump in and cover it.
What's interesting about that is that there's a lot of traffic in these eastbound lanes that this driver's going to have to deal with.
Welcome in, everybody, to the LTL podcast.
We got a live or the right shoulder to get around some of this traffic.
Armed robbery
we've also seen a little bit of aggravated driving from this traffic, or levels of both aggravated driving and some calm driving. Like right now, we're seeing this driver kind of slow down and go even slower than the pace of some of this very slow traffic. And then we're seeing points where when LAPD gets close, this driver will use some of those shoulders and really kind of drive at high speeds around some of this traffic. It looks like it looks like something was thrown out right there, and we've seen that from this suspect before. Earlier, when this driver was on the 110 North, we saw the suspect throw a gun out of the window, which checks out with what we believe this suspect to be wanted for, which is possibly an armed robbery. I wasn't able to get a good eye on what that suspect threw out right there. The other interesting thing you have is, obviously, there's a flag hanging out of the sunroof of this stolen Mercedes-Benz. Those colors could equate to a number of different countries, maybe a cause. So we're not going to speculate exactly what that could be from at this point, but definitely makes you wonder exactly what this pursuit driver, what this suspect may want, whether he wants to bring attention to a cause, or whether he's just trying to get away at this point.
Wow, and we're seeing very agitated.
Heads up to Tsunami,
yeah, he's
one of my moderators, for
giving
me
the tip. It seems like he's shuffling through some... I mean, it's hard to see through the windshield, but he's doing something right now. He's driving slowly, perhaps because he's trying to
they literally have
the vehicle.
They
that,
literally
that he wants to do. Who knows?
put
Maybe
Grand
it's
Theft Auto
hide
pursuit. That's
evidence.
great.
Who knows?
I don't know.
We don't
you know,
We're
though
just
we've been watching
speculating
him
here,
for,
but he's definitely
quite some
distracted.
time now, Giovanna.
Yeah.
And this is the most agitated this driver has taken on. We know that the sunroof had been open most of the time. The sunroof was just recently closed. We know that the flag, he definitely wants to make sure he's displaying the colors of that flag. We know that. We know that this has originated from an armed robbery suspect. Now, Gabe, did we find out, is this a stolen car?
We believe that to be the case from the latest word we have from LAPD right now, is that this vehicle is stolen and this suspect is wanted for possibly the Grand Theft Auto of this vehicle. So that's the information that we're running with right now as far as what
Welcome in,
LAPD
everybody.
is telling us.
After this
Check.
stream, I will go
All right,
to my
Gabe, yeah, we
regular
can hear
scheduled
you.
program.
And because this is a
Thanks
Grand
for
Theft
being here
Auto
tonight on LTL
vehicle,
Podcast.
potentially, that's what authorities are telling us. It's possible this flag was on the vehicle when he took the car,
Well,
or
it
I don't
seems
know.
like it's
Colleen,
probably not, because they're so adamant on waving the flag when they're driving. And like I said, the sunroof has been open. The person has been very targeted with their actions by holding that flag a lot and trying to unfurl it when it kind of gets wound
California,
up like this.
405.
So leads one to believe that it's intentional.
Is this a political statement then?
Or something. It's intentional to have this flag out. What the statement is they're trying to make,
Thanks
I'm
for
not
joining
quite
me
sure.
on this prompt
And now
It's
we can
definitely intentional there, guys.
stream.
You know,
Shout out to
you have to wonder
Tsunami,
what
my channel
exactly
moderator,
the
for giving
reasoning
me the
is
heads
to have
up.
that flag out of the sunroof. Earlier, we saw the sunroof open, and now we see it
You're
closed.
new here to the
So,
LTL
not sure
podcast.
what that means
Please make
exactly
sure
as far
to
as what the driver is going
subscribe,
through.
like,
I wanted
and
to point out, you know,
share.
we saw
We
this driver
cover
using the
true
shoulders, using the
crime
left
and
shoulder, using the
more.
right shoulder. But on the right shoulder, we saw a vehicle actually parked in those lanes. So this driver had to get back into traffic, and now he's back into normal lanes, continuing, you know, really slower than what now he's going a little bit faster than some of the traffic. But I wonder if that's just because some of these drivers hear the lights and see the sirens, and that's why they're kind of going a little bit slower. And what's happening now is all these other drivers are using the shoulder, and they're kind of, you know, making a pathway for this pursuit to get through as people hear it coming towards them, which is really, you know, that's kind of the best thing you can do, is just to get out of the way, stay out of the way, and let this pursuit go past you. But it's very interesting to see, you know, we're well into rush hour now, and this pursuit continuing eastbound on the 10 freeway around the Fairfax Avenue exit.
And traffic stopping there, as you can see on the freeway here, and you see 3 patrol units behind him. And I don't know if you noticed, but that officer right behind the suspect's vehicle opened his car door, his driver's side door. Perhaps he thought that was the opportunity to get out, but the suspect then merged over to the right and is now driving between lanes, which we've seen him do before earlier in this pursuit. We've seen him change, you know, from, you know, 2 to 3, 4 lanes at a time, and then drive in between lanes as
It's
well.
an armed
But he is
robbery.
driving much slower than he was earlier, although to
Out
Colleen's point,
on the
she made earlier, this
405.
hasn't really been a high-speed pursuit. He has been following generally going
He has,
you know,
so
60, 65 on the freeway.
Right. We see so many high-speed pursuits. And the one other thing too, this driver seems to flirt with taking an exit, but then never really commits to it and then veers right back onto the freeway. So clearly this driver
How's this
feels
gonna
more
end?
comfortable driving on the freeway. Not sure if because the driver may not know the certain areas, but again, you know, Giovanni, you and I both, you know, we take these freeways a lot. When you see the police cars coming, you don't necessarily know that they're on a pursuit. You just know you have to get out of the way, especially when you see several police cars and you see their lights,
terrible.
and, sirens going, and you see the helicopters overhead. So. Again, and you know what, we've been on this pursuit for quite some time. Bruce Thomas, our law enforcement expert, he's joining us now over the phone. Bruce, it's always great for you to join us in these pursuits because we call on your expertise, because this one, you know, as every pursuit, they're all different. They have a lot of similarities. Obviously, they're in a car and they're driving, but this driver has not taken the advantage of having these open freeways and really open up that engine of the car. We know it's a fast car. car. They haven't really been. I don't think I've seen this driver go over 65, 70 miles an hour yet on this pursuit. What are you thinking when you're watching this pursuit?
Yeah, like you said, every pursuit is different. They have similarities because they're running from the police. But other than that, in this case, he's kind of obeyed the speed limit. Yeah, he's weaved in and out of traffic, but he hasn't been a danger to the public. So I know it started as a following, and now it's in a full pursuit mode. And that's something that the watch commander is taking into account with the driver's actions.
Yeah.
And Bruce, a question, because sometimes authorities will pull off of a pursuit. Sometimes when they know who the driver is, they have the license plate information. In this case, they're staying close behind. Is it because it is a grand theft auto suspect?
Well, also because there is a robbery of some sort that went down, and the suspect is possibly armed and dangerous. What people don't take into account is the GTA.
Hey, Tsunami, thank you for the heads up, bro.
Appreciate it. However, in order to get that felony filing, you have to alter the vehicle or hide it from the true owner. So basically taking it like it is now, it's basically like a joyride.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we were talking about the weapons earlier. We saw the suspect throw a weapon out on the 110. And we know that the suspect also has thrown something else out. We didn't get a good eye on what that suspect threw out on the freeway. But again, police are not giving up on this. This is not going into the CHP area. I know we're approaching La Brea right now on the 110 on the 10.
Why would they give up?
This is a highly traveled area. But why do you think the CHP, since this has stayed on the freeway the whole time, why isn't the CHP taking over this pursuit?
LAPD may not be relinquishing control at this point. In other words, basically through mutual aid, they have not requested CHP as the speeds are not higher and the suspect is not on the freeway doing crazy things.
Yeah.
So what is the strategy at this point? To wait it out,
Tracy
to
says they always give
this
up
person and see and wait for an opportunity to.
I just hope no one gets hurt. Obviously, you don't want to see that.
Hopefully, he stops.
I don't know if it's an EV.
What do authorities look at?
That's not an EV. It looks like a BMW. A BMW.
And they do believe
Mercedes.
that he or she or the vehicle will eventually pull off the freeway, maybe go back to the area it was started. However, in this case, you're on the 10 freeway eastbound. They're going to run into some major traffic as they approach downtown. So at this point, there's really no need to do anything but just follow.
Yeah, and as we've been noticing in the past, the LAPD taking a much more cautious approach to a lot of pursuits, calling them off if they need to, if they become too dangerous. We know that the suspect did have a weapon. They threw it out the window. We don't know if they have any more than one weapon. But as of right now, the way that this pursuit is going, it seems like they are just going to stay on it. They're not going to call this one off.
Well, why would they?
Yeah, the studies have shown the last couple of years, the uninvolved third-party traffic collisions due to pursuits has gone up. And so that's part of the risk management of a pursuit is weighing the safety of not only the officers and the public, the suspect too, but we take all that into account.
It's LA.
Yeah, well, for good reason, obviously. Again, the suspect's going to be getting into the slow lane. Never know if they're going to take an exit because they haven't taken an exit. Yes, they haven't done surface streets. So we don't actually know exactly the location where this car may have been stolen.
I'm not going to get into that,
but we do know that this started about 3 o'clock, and as Gabe Santos was telling us, this suspect
I saw that
on a chase throughout South Los Angeles and onto several freeways. He was on the 105, the 405, the 110, now on the 10 freeway. And then there's that puzzling piece to all of this, that flag. What do you make of this, Bruce? Any idea? And now we see him exiting.
Trace.
We believe that this is Crenshaw.
We were trying, while I was on hold, I was talking with your assignment desk, and we were trying to figure out what flag it is.
Did he get off the highway?
Because I know that there have been some protests recently in the last couple of days involving some various countries in the Russian area.
It does look like a
But in
Ghana
this
flag,
case,
yeah.
we couldn't figure it out, and I don't know what the purpose of that flag is. It's obviously some political
Did they get
statement,
off the highway? They
but
get off the
I
highway.
don't think
Oh, this
anybody
is going to come to a
understands what
stop.
that statement
It's
is,
not going to be good.
except the suspect.
Bruce, I want to ask you one more question. Does the
Uh-oh.
strategy change as he's exiting the freeway?
All right,
onto
let's watch,
surface streets?
guys.
But right now,
Gentlemen,
let's address
ladies.
what's happening right now. We're seeing officers exit the vehicle. Nope, now they're getting back in the car. And
They're going to pit. I bet you they're going
follow.
to try to pit him or
Does the
something like that
strategy
here.
change? Does the danger
They're going to box him
level
in.
increase on surface streets?
Yeah, great question. As we go onto the streets, the pit maneuver comes into
Look
play.
at this.
Yeah, I
He
just said
threw
pit.
something to someone right there. He gave somebody something. And now I'm hoping,
What is
I don't
going
think
on?
the police know that yet, because that one gentleman with the white shirt that was at the corner took something from that suspect.
Probably money.
The suspect threw something to him. So Gabe,
Yeah,
you're right
I
there.
would hope that they would stop it,
Bruce,
yeah.
Bruce, yeah, 1 second right there.
He probably
Gabe,
threw
did you
money
get
at
an
him.
idea
So
of
much,
what was thrown to that person on the side of the freeway?
Whoa, they
we're
just
going
did
the
a
other way.
Dewey.
Going the other way, Josh. So it was definitely hard to tell what was exchanged between the person on the sidewalk and
This
the
guy's
driver.
speeding up
But
now.
we do know that the air unit, the LAPD
Yeah,
air unit
Jim
overhead,
Jones. Look at
did
this
see
shit.
what who was involved in this.
Wow.
We're seeing some
These guys
very
going crazy
aggressive driving
now,
as we're
dude.
going
Wow.
northbound now on
GTA,
Crenshaw
bro.
Boulevard. Now on the wrong
It's
side
not
of the
going
road.
to end well, I'm
This is some
telling you.
extreme driving,
Okay.
hitting almost 80 miles an hour here, continuing northbound. We were using that median
Bro,
lane,
this is
and
nuts.
now we're back on the right side of the lane. Now this driver's hopefully slowing down a
Holy
little bit, going through hopefully that intersection
this is-
has
They're gonna
green
pit-
light.
they're
Now
gonna
we're
pit
hitting
him
some
right
traffic,
here.
so we're slamming on the brakes and
Oh,
going
yeah.
back.
It's
He's
not
onto the
good.
shoulder here.
Gonna
There's
get
a
boxed
parked
in.
car. We're going to go onto the sidewalk now. It's going to be hard to see here as we go under a tree. We're going to see that
Bro.
car come back out from that
gone,
driveway from
bro.
using that sidewalk.
He's throwing
Hopefully
Amazon
LAPD was
deliveries.
able to get around that car as well. And we're
This is
continuing
crazy.
northbound now on
Dude.
Crenshaw. Really excessive rates of
Wow.
speed. Definitely unsafe for this neighborhood. If you're
Bro.
in the mid-city area, just stay off the roads
wonder
if
if
you
you're gonna
can
get out
and
and
lock
run.
your doors
Oh,
because
here
you
we
don't
go.
know
They
if this
pit him.
driver may try to
They get tight.
jump
The
out of the
traffic
car
is
if he gets
crazy,
stuck.
bro.
That could definitely lead to a very dangerous situation. It looks like LAPD
All it
taking
takes is
no
one
chances.
person just to box
They're
him
getting
in.
around
He's
this
done.
traffic as
If
well.
if
And
a
those
car pulled in
77th
front of him, he's
Division
done.
officers who've been
He's
following
done
this
now.
pursuit from
He's
the very
screwed.
beginning are staying very close to this vehicle. Now that first patrol car right behind the
Ooh.
vehicle,
Oh,
they had the
shit.
doors
Looks like
open, and it looks like we
This
may
is
have
nuts.
had some
He might-
contact here
Whoa.
between the suspect
Looks
vehicle and that
sideswipe.
See, if
silver
the
Nissan
citizens
over
smart,
there on
they
the
just
right
box him in.
side. And it looks like this driver, almost in a panic
Oh,
now in a
look at
truck,
this
They
maybe
boxed him
getting
in.
involved,
Going on
possibly
here.
blocking him in.
Intentionally.
This truck,
This is good.
it's hard to tell if this
Citizens
truck is
on
trying to get
patrol.
involved or
No,
if
it
this is
looks
just
like it's
accidental.
absolutely
the-
intentionally
But
trying to get involved in
the
this.
suspect
Bro,
driver
it's
is
not
almost
ending.
pinned in there. You could see LAPD seeing the situation.
Now he
The
got his
suspect
hand.
has
his
hands
hands
out of
up,
the
his
window.
hands
This is
up.
definitely a good sign. Who knows if this truck is possibly law enforcement or just a concerned
Nah, it's a
citizen.
citizen.
LAPD has guns drawn, and the suspect has
shit.
their hands out of the window. And hopefully, after we saw this pursuit go through a very dangerous phase on surface streets from Crenshaw Boulevard north of the 10, hopefully we're seeing this thing come to an end here now.
Yeah, I'm wondering about this. The truck. You're kind of thinking, I hope that truck stays there, but I'm also kind of concerned for that person inside the cab because if you
They're asking him to leave.
Yeah,
Look,
just
they're
get out of
asking
the
him to
car.
exit the vehicle.
They're telling him to get out. They're
Yes.
telling him to get out. And these LAPD officers have to also be concerned of the drivers that were going southbound on Crenshaw.
This is
They're
crazy.
yelling at them to get out of the way
Yeah,
too,
this
to leave
guy's
their cars
done.
parked
He's
and get
roasted,
out of
bro.
the way
They got him.
because there's
guy's
the issue of
roasted.
crossfire. If officers have to use their weapons for any reason,
He's
they
done.
want to make sure
They
that
got
there's
him.
nobody in harm's way. And you can see that suspect not using the door for some reason and climbing out of the window, hands on the pavement,
Maybe they
and he's
told
going
him
to
to
continue
do this. Yes.
trying to climb out of the window. That would be a
What
very
the hell,
unusual
man?
way for officers to tell a suspect to get out of the vehicle, but
Maybe they don't
you
know how
never
to,
know.
Maybe they actually don't know how to get out of the cars. Every now and then you get into a car and you can't figure out where the handle is to get out of the car, and you're kind of freaking out now that you have to get out of the car so quickly
Have to.
because it looks like
Good
his
point.
pants are stuck there, and there is nothing easy
It's a
about
mess.
this exit of the vehicle. That's for sure.
He does look stuck at this point. In LAPD, they may be using this other vehicle on the top right of the frame to try and get a little bit closer to the suspect and use the vehicle as a source of cover. They're going to use the door to get a little bit closer and hopefully either grab the suspect and bring him into custody that way, or at least get close enough to be able to see if the suspect is actually stuck or if he's dealing with something else.
Right. And he may be under the influence. That is always a possibility. And we did see him throw one gun out of the vehicle. They do not know if he has any other weapons in that vehicle. So they have to take every precaution possible. It is odd that the suspect is climbing out the window. We do wonder why he didn't just open the door, but
clearly thought it was going to be a much easier exit as well. Did not realize they'd be stuck right there on the windowsill of the. I mean, I can't. I feel for the suspect trying to get out of this car right now. It can't get out. They can't get out quickly, and all these officers are
a lot of danger this afternoon. So
no, I'm just saying in general how you can get the officers are trying to figure out how do we get you out of there without putting our lives at risk as well.
It's a precarious and almost, a borderline dangerous position because we are in a very populated area. We're in the middle of the Mid-City neighborhood, in the middle of Crenshaw Boulevard. There's apartments and homes on both sides of the roadway. It's hard to tell if those, what the suspect may have dropped there in front of them. But he does appear to be stuck, so definitely an almost embarrassing situation for this suspect to be in. LAPD working on what their plan is going to be. I thought for a moment they were going to use that car on the right side as a shield to try and get close to the suspect and help him that way, but it looks like they're going to continue issuing commands to the suspect and hopefully getting him to exit the vehicle in a proper manner, or at least find a way to
his pants are down.
Help him crawl out of the vehicle some other way.
It doesn't appear that his pants are stuck, but here he is coming through. He's making.
He's rolling out, and he rolls over, and it does appear, judging by this kind of behavior, I mean, it's highly unusual. It does appear that this suspect may be under the influence of something, because this is just not normal behavior.
Well,
he's rolling out of the vehicle, rolling on the floor, and LAPD just has to deal with it. They're going to continue issuing commands with him, and we can only hope that very shortly here, they're going to move in and just take this suspect into custody.
Look, the best possible thing about this is that he is cooperating.
Exactly.
He has exited the vehicle. He is following their instructions. He is doing everything that they are telling him to do. We believe, at least based on what we're watching. So this is a good sign that this will end.
Dude, he even put his hands up,
again,
bro.
we don't know how this all started and if anyone was hurt in the initial theft of this vehicle. We're told this is a grand theft auto situation.
That was hilarious.
But based on what we're seeing, it looks like this is coming to an end.
Yeah, we know that they
Tsunami, if you didn't tip me off, we wouldn't have seen that great moment.
Commands for them to kind of pull up their shirt and make sure that they don't have any more weapons. But we did see,
he might have
I think at
guns,
least on 3 accounts that suspect
Or
taking something out of the vehicle, either throwing it on the freeway, throwing it on the side of the freeway, or giving it to a bystander who they approached off the freeway.
I'm definitely clipping that and making
saw
this
those
short.
3 occurrences. One on the 110 North, where the suspect actually threw a gun out of the freeway, and we are out of the vehicle onto the freeway.
That road's probably super hot.
And confirm that it was
over
a weapon.
100 degrees.
And we did see something else thrown out of the vehicle a little bit later on, and then of course that exchange with a bystander near the Crenshaw Boulevard off ramp from the 10. Surely LAPD will be meeting with that individual to see what that was all about, and now that leads to this the conclusion of this pursuit on Crenshaw Boulevard in Mid-City, where LAPD continues to have to treat this suspect as armed and dangerous, and now they have to also understand that he's possibly under the influence, so that may lead to erratic behavior. So that may be why LAPD is being fairly cautious with this, taking things very methodically and slowly, issuing commands, and then when they have the appropriate teams in place to move in and arrest this suspect, then they will do so, but they're going to definitely take their time to make sure that they can do that safely.
Yeah, and at the minimum, this is a terrible inconvenience for all of the people on the roads who have been affected by this pursuit, and then now the end of the pursuit here on Crenshaw Boulevard. It's 4:20. This is high traffic, high commuter time. People trying to get home, with their kids or leave work or do whatever they need to do.
Absolutely.
But Crenshaw's a busy road, and so
Here those
there is
officers
that.
come. They're going to clear the vehicle. They're going to
Yeah.
make sure that no one else or nothing else of a dangerous capacity is in and around the vehicle. They're going to open the trunk, and now they're moving in from their vehicles towards the suspect. And they're going to grab one arm, they're going to grab the other arm, slap the cuffs on, and bring this to a conclusion. We're just glad from how erratically this pursuit got at the very end. We're just glad nobody else was hurt except for maybe this suspect getting a little embarrassed there, exiting the vehicle.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, again, we're happy to see this come to an end, especially, by the way, the suspect certainly changed their driving attitude. And he's really agitated right now, still yelling at the officers. We don't know what he's saying, but again, it really changed, going very, within the speed limit on the freeway, and then just,
we were all concerned it was really going to escalate further.
Oh, that dude!
Hurt.
Sorry, I was on mute. That dude did a full Olympic somersault.
Gabe Santos and Air 7
Olympic
HD,
somersault.
thank you so much.
Please make
for
sure
your
to
coverage
like
of this.
down there.
And
We got
Bruce
about
Thomas, as always,
161
thank you
people
for
in the
your
room.
insight.
They may cut the live feed here, but
all
they
right,
do.
well, now we're going to be
I will be
moving
back
on
at 8:30
for more
p.m.
news right
Eastern
now at 4
Standard Time.
o'clock.
That's
Other
it.
news, all eyes are on Hollywood today as
That's
we
it.
await the outcome of
Let's go back.
negotiations between, just going to stay.
See that perfect somersault? That dude did and the camera panned in on it. It was perfect. Right here. Watch this. Here's the moment. Ready? Replay the flip. Here it is. Perfect 10 somersault. Ready?
Proper manner, or at least find a way to
watch. He does the Olympic hands too.
Help him crawl out of the vehicle some other way.
It
looks
does
like
appear that his
the feet are
pants are
through the
stuck,
sunroof.
but here he is coming through. He's making.
He's
progress
crawling
there.
out.
That was very
He
graceful.
rolls over, and it does appear,
sorry to
judging
laugh.
by this kind of behavior. No, I
Yeah.
mean it's
The
highly
dismount.
unusual. It
That
does
was
appear that
perfect.
this
He
suspect may be
dismounted, bro.
under the influence of something, because this is just not normal behavior.
Well,
He's
all of it.
rolling out of the vehicle, crawling on the floor, and LAPD just has to deal with it. And they're going to continue issuing
He
commands
said
with
he
him.
was like,
And we can only hope
"Ta-da!"
that very shortly here they're going to move in and just take
We're
this
gonna do that
suspect in
again. We're doing that again. We're doing it again before I end this. Ready?
proper manner, or at least find a way to
And his pants are down.
help him crawl out of the vehicle some other way.
It
looks
does
like
appear that his
the
Ready?
feet are
And the
through
camera's
sunroof.
zoomed in
but here
perfectly.
he is
Watch.
coming through. He's making.
He's
progress
crawling
there.
out.
That was very
There he
He
is.
graceful.
rolls over, and it does
I'm
appear,
sorry to
judging
laugh.
by this kind of behavior. No, I
Yes.
mean it's
The
highly
dismount.
unusual. It does appear that this suspect may
Dude,
be
he
under the
dismounted,
influence
bro.
of something, because this is just not normal behavior.
Well,
He's
all of it.
rolling out of the vehicle, crawling on the floor, and LAPD just has to deal with it.
I'm
They're going to
cutting that and
continue
making that
issuing
short.
commands with him, and we can only hope that very shortly here they're going to
And then
move in
the
and just take
anchor
the
goes,
suspect into
"I'm sorry,
custody.
man."
Look,
laughed.
the best
It's hilarious.
possible thing
It's
about this
hilarious.
is that he is
And the thing is,
cooperating.
hopefully, no one got hurt before this. Hopefully, no one got hurt after this. Big shout out to the citizen that sacrificed his Tacoma to block this guy in, to let police get this guy here. But that dismount is perfect, bro. It was a 10. It was a 10. We got to watch it one more time. It was a 10. Ready? 10 dismount.
So definitely an almost embarrassing situation for this
Right.
suspect to be in. LAPD
Dismounted.
working on what their plan is going to be. I thought for a moment they were going to use that car on the right side as a shield to try and get close to the suspect and help him that way. But it looks like they're going to continue issuing commands to the suspect and hopefully getting him to exit the vehicle in a
They did a
proper
good job.
manner, or at
No one
least
got hurt.
find a way to
Ready?
And his pants are
you know,
down.
help him crawl out of the vehicle some other way.
It
Looks
does
like
appear that
the
his
feet are
pants
through
are
the
stuck,
sunroof.
but here he is coming through. He's making.
He's
progress
crawling
there.
out.
believe they
That's very
zoomed
He
graceful.
in.
rolls over, and it does
I'm
appear,
sorry to
judging
laugh.
by this kind of behavior. No, I
Yes.
mean it's
The
highly
dismount.
unusual. It does appear that this suspect may be under the influence of something, because this is just not normal behavior.
Well,
He's
all of it.
rolling out of the vehicle, crawling on the floor, and LAPD just has to deal with it. And they're going to continue issuing commands with him.
That's
And we
great.
can only hope
Good stuff.
that
Good
very
stuff.
shortly here they're going to
All
move
right.
in and just take this suspect into custody.
Look, the
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Listen, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I will be back this evening at 8:30 p.m. If you just wait and hit play, it will take you right into the next stream. Good stuff, Tsunami. Thanks for giving me the heads up. That was well worth it all day long. You can't ask for better moments like that. And the most important thing is, doesn't look like anybody got hurt. I know this was an armed robbery suspect, so hopefully no one got hurt in that armed robbery. They got this guy in custody, and it's good to know that none of the LA police look to be hurt as well, and no citizens hurt. And shout out to the dude there that sacrificed, it looked like a brand new Toyota Tacoma to stop this moron and get LEP to get in there to get him. So good stuff overall. All right, everybody. I'll see you back here in about an hour. I hope everybody can come over and join the next live show. Again, if you want to just join the live show, it will be in about an hour. Just wait. And right after this, if you hit the next, it was like play or join next, that'll be take you right over to the next stream. All right, I'll be back in about an hour. Bye.